Okay. Um, Now, because I'm gonna be covering a bunch of stuff in we probably have about 50 minutes with you guys over here. And again, for those of you who are joining us, um, maybe haven't joined us in this Saturday training, we focus mainly on products and marketing every Saturday, because Wednesdays when we do the training on our system, and we do business leadership on Wednesday. So back in June 17, um, uh, sort of like the stars kind of like aligned perfectly that day. Um, and I'm gonna just go ahead and share my screen. We preach on something called a mini day. A mini day is where you divide your days into three, which is 6 o'clock to 12 noon, 12 noon to six, and then 6 to 10. And you could compartmentalize, maybe doing some personal time for yourself, doing business time, and doing other things, just so you don't get one on a business standpoint. You end up becoming a lot more efficient and effective, because if you're outcome driven, you should be able to become very productive, because instead of having 7 days in a week, you basically have 21 days in a week. So even if, let's just say, you have like a dental appointment in the morning, it doesn't mean your entire day will be shot. You can have the other parts of the mini day. So the mini day is a different training. I know Leia did the training of that, and um, it's sort of like the core uh, time management um, strategy that we implement in the business, and it's been super effective for a bunch of people, especially for those who are doing part time. So this last June 17, I was able to hop on three appointments, three appointments, but all three appointments came from warm qualified market. In the morning, this was actually two live appointments and one Zoom appointment. So the live appointment actually went and met up. This was actually my aunt and uncle. Um, now it just so happened that the close happened this day, but there was like work prior to it. So like, maybe initial meeting, um, presenting an illustration, stuff like that. Just so happened that everything lined up that day. That's when the applications were closed and submitted. So in that one day, we were, as a combined effort of the team, were able to close 145,000 points. Now, for some of you, don't maybe Donna and Jalila, not understanding points equates to dollars, right? Or commissions. So our team in total made about $145,000 that day in commissions in one day. And this is directly because all three appointments were baby boomer retirees. Okay, so please pay close attention, because we're here to help as many people as we can, but I've always directed you guys that our niche is the baby boomer market. The baby boomer market. We can always help people with, maybe starting up juvenile accounts. Obviously, life insurance is always going to be the base foundation of what we do. But people attend webinars or pay tens of thousands of dollars just to be able to transition to what we call high ticket sales in their environment. So the high ticket sales in our environment are what we call rollovers. And so what is a rollover, or annuity purchases? So what we closed in the morning. Oh, first of all, um, there's between these 145,000 points, there was only four products that was closed. There's four products that was closed, and I want to share with you a simple guide that we actually have in terms of our products, so you guys can have this idea. I'm putting together uh, uh, a crazy marketing strategy for our team. This will connect YouTube videos, Facebook ads, and Google ads where they could download guides for long-term care, annuities, and life insurance. I call it the Simple Guide series. So real quick, I know we would do webinars doing presentations about the different types of long-term care, the different types of retirement or the evolution of life insurance. So this in a nutshell, let me just show you these four products that we use. When we go into annuities, there's really four types of annuities that we are able to offer. One that is an accumulation annuity. You guys are familiar with the Secure Horizon or the Global Atlantic Choice Accumulation. Those are the two annuity products that we have. Again, if don't worry about the product names. Donna and Jalila, you guys will get up to speed once we do like our one-on-ones. Now, lifetime income annuities, we also have two of them: Global Atlantic 150 SC and Nationwide um, Nationwide New Heights Select 9, right? Which is the annuities that provide lifetime income because it has a lifetime income rider. Now, the long-term care annuity, there's only one of them, which is Global Atlantic's Secure 4. And then there's the fixed interest annuity, which is also in Global Atlantic. Global Atlantic long-term care is 4Care. Fixed interest annuity is Secure 4. What is long-term care annuity? That's where your client puts in the money, it multiplies their money by 3 times to use for long-term care. And a fixed interest is really, it's almost like a CD. It's a little bit higher interest than a CD. Right now, I believe it's 3.5%. This fixed annuity, they can keep it there for 3 years or 5 years. So these are the four types of annuities, right? But what on the marketing side, the people who click on our Facebook ad, they have to punch in their email so they can download this piece where it explains this, and they'll get a link on the video of me actually explaining the piece, right? And from there, we'll be able to sit down with them and continue the conversation. So that's just on the annuity side. On the life insurance side, obviously you guys all know our index universal life with long-term care, term insurance with living benefits, final expense life insurance, and there's still that part where people look for whole life insurance, and so we have all of that. So right now I'm just gonna go over the four products, which is the long-term care annuity, the accumulation annuity, and the lifetime income annuity, and then IUL, which is really our top four go-to. I would say the IUL and the lifetime income annuity. Now we're heavily marketing this new Secure Horizon accumulation annuity, and so far I've closed 3 of those since they released it back in June 6th. And so I'm gonna give you guys really just a general idea of how you explain these things and how we were able to sort of like close these sales with just really having them understand how the products work. The better the people understand how it works and how it benefits them, and your ability to connect that benefit to their life, to their peace of mind, to the future, then it creates for an awesome environment of just being able to help a client and then being able to trust us and move forward with a process. So let's go get started with these different cases. So let's set maybe day one, right? And I'm gonna be explaining the difference between hot market, warm market, and cold market. Hot market, these are people who extremely trust you. Extremely trust you. You trust them. They love you. You love them. These are people that you probably see easily in all the holidays of the year. These are the people you give gifts to on Christmas. You see them on Thanksgiving, maybe holidays, consistently, right? So these are your best friends, your parents, your just the people who you have that relationship with. So the first one, and the difference between hot market and warm market. Warm market is there's a relationship already, right? And that relationship, so you have a longer warm market versus hot market. So this hot market, this is my aunt and uncle who lives in Cerritos. They're in their 70s, and they bought a house a while back in Cerritos. It was about $70,000 when they bought it. They sold it for $1 million, right? Was trying to get my help on how to avoid capital gains, and I said, sorry, there's no way to go around it if you're not going to do a 1031 exchange on your real estate, right? But again, that's a different conversation. So now they pay the taxes. Now they have this cash. Now this uncle and aunt of mine, they've never done any business with me. As much as they're my hot market. They have this Charles Schwab VIP account, and they just trust their financial advisor. So I've always just lived with that. That my the closest people to me, they'll even do business with me, and that's just a common thing. So for all of you guys, don't ever feel like it's like against you. It's just that some people they're just used to who they're using, right? But again, it came to a point where they're now a little bit concerned because my uncle just had prostate cancer, and they're now worried about long-term care. And as much as I've been talking about this thing for the last 5-8 years, right? They don't listen. Now they're looking, and now it's more expensive for them. So because obviously I had to try getting them a life insurance long-term care, and that did not work out. So they did not pass underwriting on that. So the go-to product was a Global Atlantic 4-Care long-term care annuity, right? So they wanted to put in $150,000 on it, but you'll notice here there's a $90,000 4-Care and a $60,000 4-Care, and here's the reason why. When you use a 4-Care, there's a medical questionnaire. So the 4-Care, let's start with the illustration, so at least we're getting everyone trained on illustration. So when you're doing annuity business, just like life insurance, all these annuity companies have an illustration software inside their website. So not all of them are inside the WFG website. They're inside the website. So Global Atlantic's illustration is inside their website. Nationwide's illustration is inside their website. And all these websites, don't get frustrated by it, has what we call a 2-step verification. So that's going to be like a common thing that will happen in your life, that you've got to punch in a second code to make sure that all of your clients' information are protected. Okay, so we're inside now Global Atlantic's page, and this is where you're able to run an illustration. So just like I said, inside Global Atlantic's lineup, one of the two of the more popular products that we actually use with them is this 4-Care, which is a fixed annuity, and the other one is a fixed index annuity, which is the choice accumulation, the income 150 SC. Now for this case, we're going to go to that fixed annuity, and I'm going to slow down a little bit. Okay, so the first approach for this one was to create it as a joint account, 150,000. And let me just show you how this works. So let's just say Maria is my client's name, Maria Garcia. Let's say, for example, she's a female and she's 77 years old. Okay, but because this is a joint life, Now, this product can be single or joint. Okay, and so the way I did this was, and this is Maria and John, or Mario Garcia. Okay, so he's my uncle, but he is 80 years old. Okay, cannot get life insurance long-term care. So this is the annuity long-term care. How much are they putting in? funding is 150,000. And then let's just look at the reports real quick. So this is what the report will look like when you run an illustration with ForCare. Takes a while to load. So it's going to pop out a PDF file. If you're sharing this on your screen, zoom it a little bit so your client can see it. If you're going to meet up with them in person, prepare all of these PDFs ahead of time. So when you come, you just start showing them the PDF files, okay? So this is how this ForCare works. Like we said, it's a triple multiplier. What does that mean? This 150,000 becomes 450,000 for long-term care, right? For long-term care, and it says here the monthly benefit per insured is 5,000, which means if they both need it at the same time, they're gonna get $5,000 each a month until this 450,000 is fully exhausted, right? So basically, it says here, right, 90 months of 5,000 a month. So for a total 90 months, I'm not sure how many years is 90 months. How many years is 90 months? 90 divided by 12. That's about 7.5 years. 7.5 years. Now here's the thing. With long-term care, you actually can get it from Medicare for the first 3 months. So if we're only going nine months a year, then that means this 90 months, it will pay out for a total of 10 years. 10 years of long-term care. Pretty cool. 5,000 a month. By the way, this is tax-free, even though you only put in 150,000. One more thing, this cannot be a rollover. This has to be a cash purchase, right? Which is money that's already been taxed. Now, some people think that this 450,000 is also a death benefit. Now, it's not. It's only a long-term care benefit. So this account has a basic interest. Now, here's the thing. When I say basic interest, it'll grow a little bit of money inside there, which is about 3.75%. However, this long-term care is a rider, and it has a charge. And the charge, it pretty much almost like 2/3 of the interest. So they'll get about almost just 1% interest, a little less than 1% interest here. And this is the death benefit, okay? So if this person or both of them passes away after 15 years, but they pass away without using long-term care, right? The death benefit is here, 167,000. So again, it's not a lot. It's not meant for death benefit, but what it is it's meant for long-term care, okay? This long-term care benefit also goes up as long as the contract value gets a little bit of interest. So you'll notice here, 5,000 until this, if my uncle suddenly needs it after 5 years, he can start drawing from it. And then if my auntie needs it for 10 years later, then she can pull out from it. Okay, so that's a joint contract. Now here's the thing. This has no underwriting, but it comes with a medical questionnaire, and you have to be honest with a questionnaire. No, so there's a question there that asks, did you have some form of cancer outside of skin cancer in the last 5 years? And so my uncle has to say yes. So here's the thing. My auntie, my tita, she gets approved with a 3x, but my uncle, he only gets approved with a 2x. So his multiplier is only 2 times, which is what we call standard. And then my aunt gets a 3x multiplier, which is the premier, right? So what we had to do, because if we still do them as a joint, they're only going to do the 2x for both of them. So what I did was I split it. So I split the 150 so that with my uncle, his is 90,000. For my aunt, it's 60,000. So my uncle, the 2x of 90,000 is 180, and for my aunt, the 3x of 60,000 is 180. They now both have 180,000 each. Okay. Now again, it's not 450,000, but they still get, they still get some kind of long-term care benefit. So what that looks like, if I close this real quick, if that now becomes a single life, and if my aunt is premier, but the funding is only 60,000 for her, you'll notice here, there you go, 180,000, but the monthly benefit is only 2,500 per month. 2,000, not 5,000 a month anymore, and I had to explain that to them. And it only lasts for 72 months, not 90 months. Okay? So, but she still has a total long-term care benefit of 180,000 from that original 60,000. So we still tripled her money. Now, on the other side, my uncle was 80 years old, male. His is only standard because he said yes to having cancer. If I pull out the report, didn't change to 60,000. So it's not 60,000. So for him, we split up the 150,000 to 60,000 and 90,000. So his is 90. His is 90. And there you go. The 90,000 only becomes 180,000. Okay? Because he's only standard. But he also gets 2,500 per month. Now, they want me to look for another way to add to this. And worst case scenario, they're just gonna maybe double up the money they're putting here to both get 5,000. But again, that's why it's important to get people early on the long-term care rider inside life insurance, because again, this one, as great as it is, right? It's they still have to come up with a significant amount of money. So 90,000 here doubles the money, and then the other one. So that was the first one.
That was, I was getting ready to ask a question. You must have felt it. So if you got somebody in their mid-50s like myself, putting the same money in, then does that mean that their benefits going to be more, or the months are longer because I'm healthier, or how does it? Because I haven't had cancer.
Because you're healthier and you're younger, there are other products that are going to work a lot better.
Okay.
Right. Okay. This is kind of like the last option for someone who can get approved with underwriting, et cetera, et cetera. It's still a great option, but again, for someone who's younger, we have other products that are available. Great question, Donna. Especially if you're not in California, there are a lot of really good products outside of California. So,
Age.
Yes.
My question for you,
Sure.
from our personality or relationship standpoint, for this particular couple, do they have children?
No, they don't have children.
That's why the long-term care was a big
question.
Okay. Great question.
No children. Now, if they had children, obviously I'm going to talk about,
legacy planning and all that.
On towards that benefit, but yeah, I am their child.
Okay.
So
are you the
whatever I do with them, affects. This might mean
the secondary beneficiary after the
spouse. Is my godmother.
I see. Okay.
Has no children, and I am her godson.
Got it. Okay, other question real quickly. May I
Sure.
ask, what kind of cancer did your uncle have? I mean, it sounds like any cancer was going to be a deal breaker except for skin.
Yeah. It's prostate, but it metastasized to the spine.
So any cancer is going to, at least he qualified, but it was still.
Yeah, if you
within the
guys
last 5 years.
I've seen a Global Atlantic questionnaire. The way Anthony Brown explains it, I have this questionnaire. If you say yes to the first 4 questions, we don't issue. You don't get approved. You get declined, automatic, right? But if you say no, but the next line of questions, you say yes to one of them, you get the 2x. But if you say no to all of them, then you get a triple benefit. So it's just a questionnaire. It's a questionnaire.
And for someone, for someone who can't qualify, you said you were telling Donna this is a last resort type of situation. What if it was someone younger who did have a history of cancer within 5 years and couldn't qualify for something else, but did have cash available? Would they potentially be a candidate for this bracket or no?
Yeah. But again, this is 55 to 85.
Okay, so they have to be a minimum of 55 years old.
Yes.
Who can't qualify under traditional insurance.
Right. So for long-term care, for me, the go-to is the Index Universal Life plus the long-term care rider. Obviously, option number 1 is the Nationwide. Option number 2 is Transamerica or Pacific Life. And then there's also the Care Matters. Now, in California, it's only Care Matters 1. In all other states, they have Care Matters 2, right? We're in both the death benefit and the long-term care gets supercharged. And we'll do that training in another day. Those are the 3 options for long-term care. IUL with long-term care rider, Care Matters, and then the 4Care. Now, the 5th one is an annuity with a long-term care rider, but it's not the tripling effect. It only doubles the income, which now brings us to Secure Horizon, which is the other product. And so they wanted to put in 250,000, 150 going to long-term care, and another 100,000 just to grow it. And so Donna, this is probably the first time you're seeing this, and Jalila, I've been training on this, and this thing came out back in June 6th. So for the 100,000, and this is the illustration. Now I don't have access yet to the actual illustration, so I'm just going to show you guys an illustration they sent me. They sent me to stuck. I'm not frozen, right?
No, you're not.
What? Okay.
You're not.
The PDF file is frozen. Okay, we'll just have to wait for it. Okay.
While you're waiting for that.
Skip on that. Go ahead.
While you're waiting for that, the reason you just instead of putting the whole 250 into 4Care and splitting it up like this, I thought they had a goal of 5,000 per month for long-term care. Why didn't you consider just splitting the 100,000 also within the 4Care versus doing Secure Horizon?
No, it's not
okay with the 2,500.
It's not that their goal is 5,000 a month. Their budget is 150,000 for long-term care.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. But they were okay with 2,500 a month for long-term care versus 5,000.
Because the way I explain it, Kat, is with the 5,000 a month, they're basically splitting that 450,000 between the two of them. So they really just both get 225,000 as far as the limit. Now they do get a higher monthly, but again, the total amount that they'll get is 450, right? And by doing it this way, they're not going to get the whole 450, but they still have about $180,000 each, right? So before, it's almost like they're splitting it between the two of them. Now they just got their own both separate pool, and because they already have like a standalone long-term care, and I think they're going to get like 4,000 a month in that thing. So this is like a supplement to that long-term care that they already had.
I see. Okay.
So let me ask another question with that.
Yeah.
Because she had the 3 and he had the 2, does she still get the 90 months, or is she getting the 72 months like he is?
Both of them get 72 months.
Okay, both of them are at 7. I thought that's what you said.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Good question. Okay. So, but again, that's just one product, and you guys already know that that's available. But this one, if someone wants to just, okay, we have some more of this money and we just want it to grow, we've lost a lot in our stocks and we're just looking to put some of it somewhere else. What do you have? And so now I show them the Secure Horizon. Now, I won't go into details of this because this is the only page that, in my opinion, you just need to show them. Okay, so Uncle Auntie, this new annuity product, number one, if the market continues to tank, you're guaranteed not to lose a single dollar from your money, right? But this product, right, it can get your 100,000 in the next 10 years to about 470,000. 470,000. So it's almost like a 4x. Multiply your money by 4,000. The minimum here is 25,000. I explained to them this part wherein their money's getting invested through this index, Loomis Managed Futures or BlackRock. And at the worst case, based on historical performance, the worst performance in the last 20 years was the 100,000 got to 391. What I showed them is the most recent one, 100,000 gets to 479. And the best case scenario that happened the last 20 years was 100,000 got to 584, right? So I asked them, so do you want to start with 100,000 or $1 million? So we can get your $1 million to 5.8 million. So that was the joke, right? So they can get the concept of a 5x, a 4x, and all that stuff. But yeah, after that conversation, by the way, for those of you who are seeing this for the first time right now, this has never existed. This is the first time there's a product like this in the market right now, and it just came out. It just came out. This is not stock market based. This is based on inflation and Federal Reserve rates, right? You know where inflation is going and where the rates are going, right? So
it should be based on gas. That's what it should be based on.
so this one from 100,000 that gets to 400,000. Again, it's not guaranteed, but historically, I'll give you something right now. Historically, this is what it will actually do. Historically, based on how it's set up, right? But we're gonna give them a conservative number, right? Or even go to a super conservative number, where in the worst case scenario, you will probably triple your money. At the best case scenario, you'll probably 5x your money, right? Without any risk. What's the catch? Well, your money has to be here for 10 years, and you cannot withdraw a single dollar on the first year. After the first year, you can withdraw 7% of your money every year if you want to. But of course, where are you going to put it where it's going to get better interest, right? Might as well keep it there unless you have to withdraw it because it's required by the IRS. So this can work with both cash and rollovers. Cash or rollovers. This will work. I created a spreadsheet. I don't know why I did it. Oh no, I did know why I did it because Kara's coworker asked for it. So,
but this is only for California though, right?
No, this is for all states except New York. All states except New York.
Okay.
Okay, so here we go. Real quick, I want to get this. Oh shoot, I'm already at 11:43. So real quick, if at worst case, so again, this has a charge. This has a charge. 2 weeks ago, it was 1.5. Now it's 0.95. I'll round it off to 1. What is this charge? Whatever the index performs, they're going to subtract the charge. So if the index does 6%, minus 1% or minus 0.95, 5% will be the one that will be multiplied on this participation rate. So it's either 200%, 300%, 325, 350, 400,000. We'll have a separate training on here. But all these dark green ones are the ones that are getting 400% multipliers. So that means on these areas where they're dark green, whatever the market does, because their money is divided by 5, and each 20% of the money is either on a 1 year lock, a 2 year, a 3 year, a 4 year, a 5 year lock. But because this is a 10 year, they're able to put 5 year locks all over the place and 4 year locks all over the place. So, what that means to you, if you're a client, if this index does 1%, their money will only get to 143,000. Okay? If it does 2%, their money will get to 200,000. If it average 3% during those 10 years, 283. If it average 4%, 392. If it average 5%, 537. Okay? Now, what has that thing average, AG? Oh, I'm glad you asked. Let me just pull it out. So that index, that Loomis Sales Index, by the way, Loomis Sales has been managing portfolios, by the way, since 1926. There's about $363 billion in assets. This is what they call that Loomis Sales Managed Futures Index. It has averaged, look at that, 6.67%. Let me just show you, we call this back testing. The last 20 years, in 2002, 9%, 2003, 13%, etc., etc. So that means in 2005, if it did 7.83, you subtract 0.95 here, which will probably give you 6.9. Then you multiply 6.9 by 400%, right? That's what? I don't know. 6.9 times 4, 27.6%. That's how they're getting that returns on this one. You ask me, AG, how the heck do they do that? Well, go have a conversation with Annexus Austin, and he will explain that to you.
This product is freaking awesome, dude. It's like, oh, sorry.
So, moving forward, gosh, I think this is going to be a part 1, part 2 series. Okay, that is that. That is the Secure Horizon. That's where I put 100,000. So done with 3 products. Moving on to the next one, mini day number 2, which is a matchup with Cat Laurel, right? This is a face-to-face appointment. Again, this was a warm market referral from a hot market. The hot market was Kat's Ninang. This is a day of Ninangs, right? Ninangs and Ninangs, Godparents Day. So Kat helped out her godmother and godfather, and she referred her to her best friend. One of her best friend probably lives 5 minutes away from each other in Walnut, California. So this is what came out of that real quick. There was a 590,000 403B that we rolled over. There's a 250,000 401k that we rolled over. And there's an existing annuity that has completed its surrender period, and we're replacing it with Secure Horizon. And there's also 2 trial apps because, again, health-wise, they both hike and supposedly eat healthy. So we tried an IUL application first for long-term care. So there's 2 trial apps for $300 a month each for both of them. The husband is younger, so it both came out to about, I think it's $135,000 coverage, which is we did a 3%. Sorry, I don't want to explain those things without visual aid. Let's start first with this rollover. Okay, just like I said, we logged on Global Atlantic. I didn't have the login for North American because somehow I I can't, they gave me a code and it's not working. So we're gonna go to Nationwide. Nationwide, this is where you do the illustration for both IULs and their annuities. Very easy to get here. You log in as a financial professional because that's what you are. A financial professional. So far, am I going too fast? Fast but exciting, right? Okay. Shoot. I have a long list of logins and I don't memorize any of them. Okay. Boom. Okay. So we'll hit two birds with one stone here because we can actually do the illustration of both the annuity as well as the IUL. Okay, so now when you get here, you go to my products and there's a bunch of stuff over here. All you're looking for is the illustration tool. So under illustration, you can see a bunch of different illustration software. This is the Nationwide U-Height Select Illustrator. So this is again an annuity illustrator where you're going to create an illustration. And this one is an income annuity. Just a quick recap. I showed you guys a while ago the 4 types of annuities that we're able to do. So the 4 types of annuities, real quick, what are they? You guys remember?
Accumulation, long-term, lifetime. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, awesome.
Donna is superstar.
Nice student. Okay, yeah.
Girl, I'm about that money. You know my name. The wealthy income gorilla.
So there you go, accumulation lifetime. So what we covered a while ago was accumulation annuity and long-term care annuity with the midi-day client 1. What we're going to cover right now is lifetime income annuity. Okay, we're not going to cover fixed interest annuity today. So this is pretty much U-Height Select. This is qualified money. If it's going to come from 401k or 403b, that's qualified. We click here, lifetime income rider. Don't worry about remembering all of this. You don't have to remember all of that, but because we're going to guide you every time you complete an application. So
Now,
this
AG,
is how it works.
that's from rollover or something.
Rollover or cash. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm
Yes,
doing.
this works for both rollover and cash. Great
Cash
question.
is king. Cash is king.
Yeah, but this is how we make sure that people's 401k, they don't run out of money for the rest of their life. So a lifetime annuity ensures income for as long as they live. If somehow they invent something that stops everyone from aging 10 years from now and we live till 130, then this will keep on paying. Anyway, let me just put here, so let's just so it's easy. Anna Santos, right? This is the friend. This is a friend. She is 64 and she's a female. And she doesn't want to start taking out income right away. She probably plans to start pulling it out around 70 or when she's required minimum distribution 72, right? Equal weighted dynamic blend. Here. Okay, not pulling out free withdrawals or anything. I'm not going to change anything here. Here we go. Here's the illustration and what it looks like. So this lady has 590,000, but because they're so used to saving money because they put their kids through medical school and all that stuff and physical therapy school, so they only need 4,000 a month to live off on. And fortunately, the Social Security they're going to get is going to cover the 4,000 a month. So they can start collecting from this annuity as early as year 2. But what we show them is how much they're going to get if they defer it up to a certain amount of years and how much their kids can get if they do pass away at some point, which may happen to all of us at some point. So here's what it looks like. And again, all this loading time is is going to happen to you. So again, prepare. So this annuity gives our client a 10% bonus. So their 590 gets to 649, and that is what we call the income base. And it has a compound interest of 7% every year on the income base. And I say income base is different than contract value. Contract value is based on whatever the market performs on the index. So you'll notice here, income base, contract value, they're different. See how it's 649 here, but still 590 here, because the 649 has that 10% bonus on the income base. The income base is where their lifetime income will come from. And if she defers this for the next 10 years or until she's 62, she will get a payout of about 5.15% from an income base of 1.6 million, which came from that 590 at 1.6 million. It will pay her $83,000 a year and potentially will go up every year. That's the aggressive version. This is the conservative version. If the index does about 8.8%, right, then her income will go up a little bit every year from 58,000, etc., right? I give you the more aggressive one. I don't want to show the aggressive one, but that's the potential, but I just show conservative. So sorry, I didn't mean to say 83,000. I wanted to show this, okay? So the 590 gets to about 1.1 million. The lifetime income is 58,000. Potentially can go up. If she lives till 90, she's been able to pull out 1.1 million, and her children will still get about 1.5 million as a death benefit. Pays out 2.6 million from the original 590,000 without any risk. Zero risk. What's the upside here? Upside here, if the index performs really well, if she dies at 90, it would have paid out 2.3 million, and the death benefit is 3.6 million. That's $6 million from the original 590,000. That is your nationwide New Heights Select. You talk about wealth building. I just showed you crazy examples of how we can help people build their wealth. So that's the example for the wife. The husband's the same situation, it's just that he has half the money. So it's the same product, so I don't have to show you the illustration. But now you saw how it works. Any questions?
Is there an age limit on this? AG, is there an age limit on this?
No, this one started as early as I think 40. If
40?
let me double check. It'll show here minimum age requirement. Does anyone know off the top of their head what is the minimum age requirement for Nationwide New Heights Select? I'll give that information to you, Donna.
Okay.
But from what I know, it's 40, if not 30. One of those two. I think it's 40. I'm leaning more towards 30.
Okay.
Okay, so that's now second client. Okay, I got 3 more minutes with you guys. Let me just show you the third one and go.
AG, can you hear me?
Yes, Kat, what's up?
I can't. Can you hear me or no?
I can hear you. Kat. I can hear you.
Okay. I think what's important to note too, if you can hopefully hear me, and specifically with this couple, and I don't know if you brought it up necessarily, but you mentioned that with their goal per month was 4,000 per month. They were comfortable with 4,000 per month. And with their Social Security, both of them, they were actually above 4,000 already without all of this stuff. Yeah. But what you didn't mention is what I think you might not have mentioned is that, well, what would be the purpose? What would the benefit obviously be of doing all this if they already had just from Social Security? So we wanted to make sure that they're aware that some of the things that they would have to fight or they'd have some obstacles in the future was inflation, taxes, and long-term care. And so because of that, even though they only need $4,000 per month now, in the future, obviously with the way the inflation was going, those things, they would actually need more. So that's why we wanted to make sure that they were aware that the money we were moving for them was actually going to provide them more to fight inflation, as well as for tax to put them in, and then of course taxes too. We had a whole spiel about taxes and how to put them in a lower tax bracket and all that. But even though they had enough from Social Security right now, in the future that might not be the case, as well as the fact that they needed extra money for medical insurance, because obviously when they stop working, they wanted to make sure they had good medical insurance as well, and that's expensive at their age. So that's something that we had to make sure that that was accounted for when they start pulling out money from this. And then of course, then that's why we brought up what you're probably going to talk about next eventually is the IUL.
Yeah, great.
So, and all those things.
So those are the things.
So pretty much to show that there were gaps in their financial planning, not just the Social Security was not going to do it by itself.
And so
I think that's why it made sense.
And Kat was pretty awesome that she, because this is something that we do. This was something that we learned from something called selling through curiosity. We would prepare a report for them before we actually go to them, just to go over the things that we feel. First of all, the things that they're concerned about, and the things that we feel they might not be thinking about, but it's super relevant based on what we know in the existing climate of what's going on right now in terms of expenses for people, which is healthcare expenses. And she brought that up. Medicare, you only get a free on Medicare Plan A. You have to pay for Plan B, Plan C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, X, Y, Z, right? So that has to come into consideration. Then also inflation. We're right now on a runaway inflation. Not sure how it's going to slow down. That's why they're raising interest rates just to slow down people from borrowing money and just going crazy with this. So now, one of the things we also showed is something that's called the Index Universal Life through Nationwide Insurance with a long-term care rider. And this product. So again, this is the third illustration that we're running. We weren't able to run North Horizon illustration. I'm sure within the next couple of days we'll be able to do that. But we just had to keep it super simple because, again, these are very conservative people in terms of what they're spending. And I just show the $300 a month long-term care. Just figure out how much this is, and based on how she was health-wise, I think she was healthy. We had to put the husband on standard, but I put here as a 3% maximum monthly rider, and this is the one, Donna, that anyone from 18 years old and above can get it, and this is a much cheaper long-term care versus the one that we showed on the first example. So, real quick. Almost done here, and we'll cover the 1.1 million rollover next week. That is a Kaiser pension rollover. I'll explain to you how that goes, because I really feel you guys could benefit from all of that. So real quick, this is a $300 a month policy. Total long-term care payout is $135,000. If this thing kicks in, Donna, if she's only needs it year 5, she only put in $18,000, and she's able to get $135,000. The other part of this is, if after about 20 years she wants to just walk away and close the contract, she's put in $72,000. She's able to get a refund of $56,000. Okay, and also, if she doesn't use long-term care, there's a death benefit of the same amount of $135,000. So real quick, long-term care at $135,000, it's 3 times this, the 3% of this amount, which is $4,050. That's every month until she fully exhausts this. She can go with a whole Medicare for 3 months and long-term care for 9-month strategy. But this is the biggest part of this, informal care. What that means is it doesn't have to be a licensed healthcare professional that takes care of her. Could be her spouse, could be a sibling, could be a child, or maybe a niece, a nephew who just helps them with the stuff. Understand long-term care, standalone long-term care, similar to the first one I get. You only get reimbursed with what you pay for a care provider. If you're having someone do your laundry, do stuff for you, that's going to come out of your pocket, right? So informal care, right, it means they're going to give you cash, $4,050 in cash every month, tax-free. That's why cash indemnity long-term care is so much better than reimbursement long-term care. Everything else out there is reimbursement. The only thing that's cash indemnity is Nationwide's long-term care rider and Nationwide's Care Matters. So that's how this works, and that is the fourth product that we covered today based on a bunch of different examples that we had. So we covered the rollover. I'm not going to show the replacement of Secure Horizon, but you guys already saw the Secure Horizon. For this client, we're replacing their old annuity with a new Secure Horizon annuity. And then there's 2 trial apps for $300 and $295 a month. So the total for the top is 15,500 points. This one is 61,680, which brings us to 77,000 points, and we're just halfway done. We have a 68,000 point case over here. We will cover that next week, and which is going to be a part 2 of this 145 points in one day. Now, if you guys were an SMD and you closed all of this on your own, 145, even if you're a marketing director, let's just not make it an SMD. Lowest contract associate, 145,000 points at a lowest contract of 0.35. You would have made $50,000 in one day. There you go. That's how cool that is. So, again, all great things come from what we call warm, qualified baby boomer retiree market. And that is the end of my training for today. I'm sorry if I exceeded the training for about 6 minutes. I will go ahead and upload the copy of the training today to our YouTube channel and send you guys all a link. Let me just take a picture of who's here so I can send you guys a link to it at the end of the day. Thank you guys for hopping on. Monday, again,